Hardy har, it's me again, the Bargain Pirate, and welcome to a new adventures in game chasing! Alright, now that the cheeky team song's over, today we're gonna do it a bit special. Last season, I talked about all the games on the NES Classic. Sorry Nintendo, the NES Classic. And now, well, today I'm gonna talk about all the games on the SNES Classic. Now the SNES Classic is a really cool console. There's only 21 games as opposed to the 30 games in the NES Classic, but whatever. This also comes with the first ever world premiere of Star Fox 2, which was a game that was cancelled because of Star Fox 64. They were like, why release a new game on Super Nintendo when we got this awesome 3D game coming out? Let's just not release it. Or why not just make more money, Nintendo? Jeez. I remember when I got this, I played for a whole week. The way I got this was super arduous, like all my adventures. I had a friend who knew somebody who worked in a video store, and well, I gave him some money, and then when he got it, he gave it to me. What a story. That was quite an adventure. But anyways, on to the SNES Classic.
And here we go. First up, Contra 3, which is more of the same hardcore gaming goodness introduced in the first two games, Contra and Super C. This one has some new top-down moments to complement the classic run and gun, but it's pretty much just classic Contra with a fresh coat of paint. Not a bad thing though. More than Battletoads, next up is the game that put Rare on the map, Donkey Kong Country. This game blew everyone away when it came out, with its beautiful graphics and its irreverent tone. I would have loved having the sequel, Diddy's Kong Quest, on here too, but this one is more than a solid game, and I like having it here. One of the most original JRPGs ever made, Earthbound is the case example for overlooked at release, but now it's a classic. With its story of psychic children fighting an alien entity trying to take over, or destroy, or devour, or something the world. I really can't tell. I'm a big fan of this one and dream of the day it will be in my collection. Who knows? Maybe I'll find it soon, right? One can dream. Another JRPG, this time quite possibly the best game in the Final Fantasy series. This one has everything you'd want from a Final Fantasy game, and then some. Some great moments, the fighting system is tight and just keeps getting better and better once you unlock magic by equipping espers. This one is near perfect. One of the launch titles, alongside Super Mario World and Pilot Wings, this racer is my favorite racer on the system, even outclassing Super Mario Kart for me. When are we getting a new one of this series, Nintendo? Not one, not two, but 7 main and a couple short Kirby games all on one cartridge? That was insane then, and is still pretty awesome now. This game is one of my favorite for the system, and to have just a chill gaming experience, it's hard to beat this one. Now this is a really odd choice for this collection and only seems on there because it's a golf game that features Kirby and was very popular when it came out, but I don't know what much to say about this. It's a fine enough game on its own, but I would have put many another thing instead of it, like if you want absolutely a puzzle game on there, Super Bomberman or Tetris Attack, the latter of which is actually in the Japanese version, the Super Famicom Classic. This one's a lot of my friends' favorite Zelda. I don't know if I'd go that far, but definitely top 5 for me. There's not much I can say about this game that isn't known, but this is the first Super Nintendo game I've ever played, when I was 4 years old. Now this is how you update a known franchise for a new generation, by making it better in absolutely every way. This game is awesome fun and is a masterclass in game design. I highly recommend to go see Egoraptor's video on the subject. Jump and shoot indeed. Another classic action RPG. This one is one that I personally feel has not aged that well at all. The menus and text boxes are really hard to read with their meshed backgrounds. The story is just okay, and I honestly would have preferred Chrono Trigger being included instead. But here we are. Proving the Super Effects chip's the real deal, this early 3D space shooter is a classic with a great legacy. But this one, the original title, has aged rather poorly. But it is still a good taste of things to come. For years this game has only been available in the grey market, but now thanks to... Actually I have no idea thanks to what. But anyways, Star Fox 2 is officially released for us all to enjoy. This game mixes the fast action of the first game with some interesting combat strategy elements and features tons of cool ideas later implemented in future titles. What next, Nintendo? Mother 3? Give us Mother 3, okay? Just Mother 3. Please, Nintendo, just give us Mother 3. Ah, the best fighting game of the 90s also had one of the best console ports ever, and this is the first major update to that one, following a glitch in the arcades where everything went faster to get a quicker rotation of players in order to make more money. People were really happy about the faster gameplay, and anyways, this is the best version on the SNES, even though Super Street Fighter 2 has all those new challengers. But this is the best reason to include 2 controllers in the SNES Classic. Like Contra 3, Super Castlevania 4 is pretty much a NES Castlevania game with a presentation overall, however a little more successfully than with Contra. The music is particularly awesome, Simon Belmont can now whip in all direction, and this is the perfect way to play the original Castlevania's story, as this is pretty much a remake. Another game that is more of a cuter, cleaner remake than a whole new experience. This one is hard as hell and will make you its bitch. And once you beat the game, well, just like the original, you're gonna have to beat it again. Anyways, give it a try. The first and perhaps the most overall successful series Nintendo has, this one is really more of a proof of concept and historically only there for Mario Kart 64 to exist and actually kickstart the series proper. It's not a bad game, but it's very limited in what it wants to do, and I really prefer F-Zero for actual racing gameplay on the SNES. My actual favorite RPG on the SNES. This is the pinnacle of the collaboration between Square and Nintendo, with a fun but unexpected storyline about a giant space sword that forces Mario to team up with his nemesis Bowser and Princess Peach, as well as newcomers Mallow and Geno to save the Mushroom Kingdom. Where's Luigi? Anyways, definitely try to make time in your life to play this at least once. Quite possibly the best launch title ever! To have this game come out with a console not only showcased its capabilities and advantages over the NES Mario titles, but also offered an improved map screen system, as well as secret levels, hidden blocks that open new roads, and of course, the addition of Yoshi, who's totally awesome. This is arguably the best 2D Mario game ever made, in my opinion. How do you make a sequel to the perfect Mario game? Well, you don't even try, and you make something completely different. This one stars Yoshi, Mario's a baby, the mechanics are all different, it's a crazy time, but it's a crazy fun time. My favorite game of all time on this system. The atmosphere of this game is perfect. The gameplay is perfect, the music is perfect, this game is perfect. A major contender for the best game on the system, as well as a major contender of best game of all time. A solid improvement on the arcade and NES originals. This is actually a remake of the second arcade game from the 80s. Every character is a borderline racist caricature, and this really for some reason makes me miss the 90s and the simpler, less constantly offended times. I love this game. Super Punch-Out. Amazing.
A tiny little machine, but it's got a lot of gaming greatness. Now, one point that I dislike about this console, just one, is that 21 games and they chose Secret of Mana as the other Squaresoft RPG to put on there. I mean, Final Fantasy 3, 6, perfect choice. Secret of Mana, it really aged badly, according to me. It's not my favorite, and I think instead of Secret of Mana, they should have put something that I found in the wild. I go into that pawn shop, and lo and behold, what do I find? A copy of Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo. I can't believe I have my hands on this. I always bring a few extra games with my bag, just in case, you know, for trades. So I have Chrono Trigger in my collection, and I didn't pay a dime for it, because the doubles and triples were from lots that I bought, so basically I paid peanuts. Let's do the math. Basically I paid just a few dollars for Chrono Trigger. Possibly one of the best RPGs ever made, let alone one of the best RPGs for the Super Nintendo. It's a great game. I strongly suggest you play Chrono Trigger either on the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy Chronicles release. Just don't play the Android and iOS versions, because those are buggy as all hell. Next episode, I'm heading over to Animaricon, which is a convention in the town of Sherbrooke, and I'm gonna see some old friends, and maybe, just maybe, I'll make an even better, crazier trade than I made this episode. Stick around for the next adventures in game chasing. Yarr!